Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the 105 leFH18B2, the French Tier 5 Premium SPG, one of only two premiums in the game. This one's located on the northwest spawn of Fjords, under the command of Mostly Bad. Well, you may have heard of him before if I actually mentioned his other names, because, yes, this is a gentleman who has supplied us some replays in the past, and he's been a long time away from the channel, but he's come back with a couple of replays. Okay, well, he's aiming towards the enemy cap area at the moment. Not sure if he's anticipating something to actually become visible. He can hear some destruction going on, and I suspect there is some tank destroyer or some tank actually going into that general area, because we can see destruction going on those rocks. He fires a snapshot in, no joy. In the meantime, we've got some enemy tanks making their way up to the South Pass. Now, we did briefly see a Striv 74. He fires a snapshot in again. He didn't look to see where the shell went. Pulled away before it landed. Of course, that makes for very bad videos, because of course you don't get to see what's going on. All you see is somebody firing, looking away, firing, looking away, and you don't actually get to see any destruction. There is an enemy tank up on top of that hill as a Panzer T-25, but he's decided to look away because there's a battle going on the South Pass already. We've lost one tank over there, and now we're trying to get a shot on this KV-2. Rounds out. Well, the shell just zipped over the top of the KV-2, and 4 enemy tanks have made it through the pass. It's a Tier 6 game, and there's Tier 5 tanks in it. In fact, there's 5 enemy tanks have made it through that pass, and we're now dialing in on a BDR G1B. Lands in front of him, but it did splash him. Now, this is a 105mm light field howitzer, capable of doing 410 alpha and penetrating 53mm of armor. You need to line up ahead of the target because they're moving. No, not far enough. You've got to give enough lead to actually take into account their movement. Well, they're pulling back now because, of course, they've come up against some opposition. But they're pulling forward to a firing position. So you aim at the firing position and wait for them to walk into it, and then you can hit them. Okay, KV-2. No, you didn't wait for them to walk up to their firing position, and that shell missed as well. Okay, he's firing at the KV-2. That should... Oh, again, that one missed as well. I was saying that one should hit, but the thing is that the guy pulled back, but he stopped suddenly, changed his position. The BDR G1B just got derped by a KV-2. And that's a nice hit on the KV-1. I'd say that M6 is probably your better target for the moment, because of course he's engaged in the battle. Both of these guys are engaged. The M6 goes down to the KV-2. Oh, KV-2 is having a good battle so far. Rounds out the KV-1. That's going to miss. And he looked away as well, so we didn't get to see what happened to the shell. But I do think it missed the target altogether. Yes, I think the player, as you know, is one of those ones who does look away during the battle. He may have been a bit out of practice, but he's decided to come back with the Fifi. Again, fires, but he does get a hit this time. He was about to look away, but changed his mind at the last moment. And he does look away there, and the shell hits the ground directly in front of the target. I can see I'm going to have to keep hold of the controls to avoid him looking away. Okay, fires ahead of the KV-1. And the KV-1 goes down to our Giro. It's one of those Japanese tank destroyers. In the meantime, we saw for a brief moment a shell that was fired to the KV-2, but he did hit, even though he looked away. Okay, this M10's come through the middle pass, and he wiped him out with a penetrating shot that went straight up his rear, and I'm pretty certain that's a penetrating shot. The M10 doesn't have much in the way of armor, so that shell probably went straight through his engine deck. He's guessing where the KV2 is now, or the KV1 rather. No, it is a KV2. Now, there's a lot of action going on elsewhere on the battlefield, and the scores are actually fairly even, but the enemy is down on hit points at the moment. I think they lost most of their heavy tanks, and so they've only got one left. And that's the KV2. Our KV1 is moving up. He's found him. Okay, rounds out. Unfortunately, the KV1 got duped. Now, can we get a hit from Mostly Bad? No, that KV2's backing away, and now he's in cover. So, not so good, because we lost the chance to get the KV1, but the enemy is losing elsewhere, and in fact they're now down to just 3 vehicles, including their Arty, who's a thriller, and unfortunately we just lost our Rudy. So there's only 3 left on either team. He's looking for targets, but if we're going to see that KV2, it's going to be the Giro who spots him. The M10 is holding the middle pass at the moment. And he's come into sight. He's a lot closer than we thought. And he's just derped our Giro out of existence. Not fully dialed in, but he is only a one-shot. We could kill him with 1 round if we can get the round on target. Fires a snap in. Well, it wasn't a snap really, it was a direct hit, and he did hit him, but it didn't kill him. Fires another one in. Nope, that one didn't work. And unfortunately, we just lost the M10 RBFM, and that means now that Mostly Bad is alone against 3 enemy tanks. Oh dear, this does not look good. On the other side of the coin, the good bit is that those enemy tanks don't seem to have much in the way of hit points. He's still 100% healthy, but the enemy tanks only have 487 hit points between them, as far as we know. And remember, one of them's an Arty, so he's going to be full health. And that means the Giro and the KV2 are basically one-shots. If he gets 1 round on target, they should expire straight away. Well, he's lost sight of them for the moment, but they will get closer. And he's got a 390-meter view range, but as somebody was saying, he needs to move a bit closer to actually see where the enemy tanks are when they get close. And then he needs to back up to use the bush mechanic so that he can then shoot at them. Otherwise, the moment they spot him, they will try and hit him. That rock is actually getting in the way. Knocks the tree down a little bit. Now, hopefully the gorilla is not looking at this moment, because if he did see that tree go down, he would obviously immediately realize that that is where Mostly Bad is located. But the enemy's probably very confident now that they can win this game. And so normally that means they're overconfident. And this is what you play on their weakness, that they think that they can win this game, but they're up against a premium SPG. And premium SPGs have been known to win battles. Well, here comes the Giro. Now, he can see him, but the thing is, he needs to really pull back and get a shot from inside cover. But he's lining it up, and he wipes him out with 1 heat round, but he did get spotted. And that means he's going to be on the receiving end of a few shots. And there's the enemy RT shell coming in. Okay, he's changed position, and there is the KV2. Now the KV2's dived for that little dip. Oh, he just got him too! Shall we see that one again? To be a particularly good kill. Okay. There's the shot that missed from the KV2. The RT shell just goes over the top of him. Now, see how he does this. Lines it up ahead of target. Lines it up. Oh, and he looked away at the wrong moment. Oh, I'm afraid we'll have to do that one again. Almost as if he doesn't want to see what he's going to do next. Well, as soon as we're on target, we will then take it off his command. So he can't show us what he's done. Oh, it went right into the side of the turret with a heat round. Went right through him and wiped him out. That means now it's Arty versus Arty. And he's changed position straight away to avoid the gorilla getting a shot on him. In fact, he's going to come across the battlefield. Now, he's not particularly fast, but then the gorilla's not particularly fast either. Maximum speed of the Fifi is 28 kilometers an hour. Very, very slow indeed, but that's because it's based on the Char B1 hull, which is, of course, a heavy tank. The gorilla has got a maximum speed of 42 kilometers an hour. Now, that's down to the fact that it's actually based on the Panzer 38T, the Czech tank that was actually designed before the Second World War and adopted or used by the Germans for various chassis such as the Marder, the Gorilla, and of course, most famously of all, the Jagdpanzer 38T, which was the Hetzer. Well, yeah, he knocked a tree over there. That would have given away his position, but I don't think the enemy Arty is watching. I rather think that the enemy Arty is anticipating that he is coming in his direction, but he's not going through the middle pass. I would have gone through the middle pass. In fact, the enemy gorilla was on the move already, and he's gone into the cap. So we're heading back. So it really didn't matter that he knocked that tree down because the gorilla wasn't watching anyway. He was watching where he was driving. Now the gorilla's got a 15 centimeter howitzer. That's the schwer howitzer, the heavy howitzer. Oh, we can see him straight away. He's in danger. And that means with a heat round, this guy could be out of the game. Oh, we killed him with one round. We'll see that again because it was a very quick shot. Yes, I'm afraid we have to do a lot of this with Mostly Bad. He spotted him. 390 meter view range. We see him wander the aim, chasing the target, but he got him and wins the game 3 against 1. And he has just won a lovely victory. Here's the end of battle stats, and that was a second-class tanker for Mostly Bad in the 105 leFH18B2, the Fifi, the Pew Pew, or a Leffy or Leaf Blower if you happen to be a tank driver. He also got a fighter badge for getting at least 4 kills. He did get 4 exactly, as well as a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In this one, he managed to get 8. His win rate was 3,790, which is Super Unicum standard. But of course, the best thing of all was he took on 3 enemy tanks single-handed and won and defeated all of them to win the game. They were definitely overconfident because they came to his cap thinking that they could easily defeat him, and it turned the tables on them. He used heat rounds to do it, but of course, this Arty is very effective with a heat round because, of course, it does tend to go through armor, even if it's quite strong armor. Let's have a look at team score. Well, he didn't get the highest damage in the game. The KV2 on the enemy team picked up a high caliber for 3,191, but of course he went down to Mostly Bad's gun as well. Second highest damage was the Rudy on our team, 2,298. And the third highest damage was our KV2 with 1,888. When it came to Mostly Bad, he's 4th on damage with 1,319. But when it comes to kills, he got the highest with 4 kills, and he shares that with the KV2 on the enemy team. And 3 kills went to the Rudy on his own team and the KV2, and also to the KV1 on the enemy team. When it came to base XP, he's in 3rd place because the Rudy managed 1,163, the KV2 managed 926, and then we've got Mostly Bad with 830, with that KV2 on the enemy team picking up 794. he fired 31 rounds, so he still had 19 rounds left at the end of the game. 10 direct hits on the enemy, 5 penetrations. Of course, those last shots were all heat rounds, so they all penetrated the target straight away and went through. But of course, it was well aimed as well. 8 splashes, damage of 1,319 hit points, of which 1,045 were at more than 300 meters. 9 enemy vehicles were struck and 4 were killed, so there was a 5 difference there. It was a little way off getting a Confederate, but he would have got it. And he got 41 defense points because he reset the cap when the guerrilla was already in it. And effectively, he could have waited a little while before he actually started the attack, but he didn't know if he'd had to drive any closer because that guerrilla could have been hiding a little more efficiently, but he's just sitting in that corner, ready and waiting, thinking that the Fifi was actually behind the rock across the river, and that's why he was aiming in that direction. And all of a sudden, he realized that Mostly Bad was actually behind him, and that's when he started panicking. He picked up a profit of 21,103 credits on a premium account and 4,233 experience points as well. But best of all, he got the win for his teammates, and they must have thought, oh, we've lost this one. But no, Arty tends to win battles when our backs against the wall. Sometimes we pull the rabbit out of the hat. And yes, where our back's against the wall, we tend to fight back even harder and win. I hope you enjoyed that replay. If you did, please give this video a like. Do subscribe to our channel. Leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm. And thank you for watching.